ci sei col drone, che vedo buio qua ancora. Ah, ok, no, solo perché ho visto il nostro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Microfono, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dai che adesso sta mollando un pochino, speriamo rimanga così. Ci accontentiamo un po' tutti, dai.
C'è il guadagno un po' alto.
C'è il guadagno alto? Ehi, c'è il guadagno.
È come ieri.
È come ieri, eh? Non abbiamo toccato, la camera è quello, il microfono è quello. Forse parlo io troppo vicino, forse è così, giusto che sia così. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dai, adesso smette, si ferma.
Basta.
Sono tutti più felici, drone incluso.
Bene, ok.
Vero?
Drone c'è?
Parti sulla salita, vedo che di fronte il suo gentil consorte alias Alba di Silvestre sta visionando il percorso. Ripeto, qualificazione femminile, ora il tempo verrà sommato a quello maschile e faranno il tempo totale, ci daranno quindi quali saranno le prime 12 squadre che faranno parte di quel contesto delle semifinali finali, mentre dalla 13esima alla 24esima le squadre della femminina B, diciamo, per andare poi ovviamente anche a valutare i punteggi per nazioni. Ma saranno le finali A che danno a scegliere a guadagnarsi la forza, la mente, il cuore, le gambe, l'assegnazione del posto. E poi via le premiazioni, oggi sono le premiazioni del 7 perché dobbiamo premiare la gara odierna, la gara dove verrà di Coppa del Mondo di Serraglio e poi dove verrà l'Under delle maschili. E poi è la massima espressione che l'atleta può di avere di vincere ovviamente anche la Coppa del Mondo. Arrivederci alle prossime manifestazioni. Entrano anche i lisciatori dell'esercito italiano che ringraziamo, sono tanti anche i lisciatori, alcuni hanno per la prima volta invece buttato le nevi e quindi chissà si arriveranno anche loro a passare.
E allora,
hai i risultati, vai.
Ultimi arrivi, è stato arrivato lo svizzero per Tennis, qui sarà una bella lotta sul filo dei centesimi, perché al femminile la Ulrich era stata davanti a Mattia Santoni, però le 24 di Ulrich davanti a Maria Santoni, 18 centesimi, al maschile Patrizia Penetente, tra le 5 sta davanti al suo compagno di squadra Iote, del terzo, 18 centesimi. Quindi mi sa che...
Le donne hanno detto, noi abbiamo fatto la nostra, adesso sono cavoli vostri. Noi abbiamo fatto i buchi di questa grumiera, voi fate la pasta, parlando di team svizzero. che sono ovviamente anche i risultati, ci ricarichiamo per essere nuovamente carichi. Signori, 10:30 e là ci sarà una bellissima prova, quella guerra sportiva che si chiama Scialpinismo Sprint Mixed Relay. See you later, a tra poco.
coming up very soon. But here we are, just having a little look around. This is the Italian team. Robert Antonioli giving a quick wave there. He's in the B final with Giulia Murada. So what is happening today? Well, we're having the B final at 10:30 and followed by the A final at 11:30. We had 38 teams qualifying today from 19 different countries. A huge amount of teams starting the mixed relay here for the final event of the season. There we are, that is the schedule for today. There are 12 teams in the A final. And also 12 in the B final. That is the maximum number of teams that are allowed in the heats, maybe in the finals for the mixed relay. And the starting position is chosen according to qualification time. The best team will be able to choose its start line position first, so we will see that very shortly. And the final B always takes place before the A final with a maximum, as I say, of 12 teams. Quota is 1 team per nation member in the World Cup finals. And we see quite a different strategy of how these teams are chosen, how many go in. For example, the French this morning had 6 teams. French had 6 teams in this morning, and which means they all need to compete with each other. Many of them didn't qualify at all. Whereas here we go. Let's have a little bit of explanation. So the mixed relay is the latest addition to the ISMF racing discipline. 1 man, 1 woman from the same country. Female athletes go first. They set off first. Each athlete does 2 ascents, 2 descents, including 1 foot part. They then get to the end of their round and they tag their teammate, must touch their bag or part of their body. The male athletes then do 2 ascents, 2 descents, and each athlete does it first. It does it twice, I beg your pardon. The man always does the last lap, and it usually lasts between 45 minutes and 1 hour and 15. Only 1 team per nation can qualify for the final. There we are, just a little bit of a very quick explanation of what's going on in the mixed relay. It's still quite new in the world of SkiMo. It is going, of course, to the Olympics in Milano Cortina, January 2026. And when we start next season, when we're back here next season, we will be looking at the qualifying period for the Olympics. Oh, it is really snowing now. We'll have a little look at the rankings for the nations at the moment. Italy is in the lead. It was in the lead this year, with 362 points. They've had 2 wins and 2 third places. The 2 wins came courtesy of Albano Silvestro and Michele Boscacci, and the third places came from Giulia Murada, who we just saw there waving at the camera a minute ago, and Nicola Canclini. That is the Spanish team there. They're sitting in 2nd place on the ranking, in the nation's ranking, with 346 points. They've had 1 win, 2 second places, and a 5th. And 3rd place on the ranking is France with 328 points. One first place for them, 2/3, and a 5th in the 4 races that we've had thus far in the 2024 season. Austria with 319, Switzerland with 272, and then in 6th place at the moment, Germany with 250. But let's have a look at who is out there today. Well, this is the B final. Caroline Ulrich and John Kissler from Switzerland, Pablo Ginera, Celia Peria-Pessé of France, Ravinel Galando, Murada and Antonioli, Mascherona Sostizzo, Solon-Gaugen and Tuatera Ali, Wessling, Gramselberger, Mao, Lee, Lam, Whitehead, Garcia Fares, Cardona Cole, Vasanova and Strake make up the final 3 as we go into the B final in about a minute and a half. Here we are, Giulia Murada and Robert Antonioli. He is off to stay warm. She is off to take her place on the start line. She will keep that jacket until the very last minute. Katia Mascherona and Matteo Sostizzo, the second Italian team in the B final. Solon-Gaugen and Isimayer Tuatereli. Of China. That warming up in the red uniform, that is Caroline Ulrich of Switzerland. To her right, to our right, Luker's right, is Margot Ravinel with the red helmet of France. Caroline Ulrich is racing with John Kissler, and Margot Ravinel is on the start line today with Robin Galando. Sophia Wessling there in the distinctive German uniform, the red and yellow sleeves. She is racing with Felix Gramselberger. Here we have Oriol Cardona Cole. Unusual to see him in a B final, but he is here with Marta Garcia Fares. And away we go. This is the B final of the mixed relay here in Cortina d'Ampezzo. It is the penultimate race of the 2024 ISMF World Cup season. And it is, as you can see, a bit of a wild day. They're already starting to string out. Just to remind you that this is the women doing their first lap. On into a long line there. So as the women make their way up this first slope, not easy to tell, but I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and say I think that might be Marta Garcia Fares in front, Caroline Ulrich behind her. Yes, I can see from that. That is Marta Garcia Fares. That is Caroline Ulrich with Giulia Murada in behind her. I think that was potentially the Chinese athlete, Zhuangzhu Kujian, behind her with Margot Ravinel and Katia Mascherona. Really strong out here, and it is tough conditions out there today. A lot of fresh snow on the track. Even though the qualifications have been, it's still falling. As the women come near the end of their first ascent, Marta Garcia Fares and Caroline Ulrich just putting a little bit of a sprint on there, and if we are correct, hopefully we will get to see an up close of the transition area. Marta Garcia Fares ahead of Caroline Ulrich, I think followed by Giulia Murada. There we are, split times. Marta Garcia Fares, Caroline Ulrich, Giulia Murada, Margot Ravinel, Zhuangzhu Kujian, and Katia Mascherona. And Marta Garcia taking the second out in second place behind Caroline Ulrich, as we see Giulia Murada in behind her, and Margot Ravinel goes left. This is the sprint course from yesterday, of course, so they will all be familiar. Caroline Ulrich and Marta Garcia, with both Giulia Murada and Margot Ravenel sitting absolutely hot on their heels. It's all to play for here. This is the second uphill for the women in the B final. You can see the support there on the side, the Swiss flag, the bells ringing. This is a tough day. And Giulia Murada has pulled out in front. And she keeps that lead going into the foot part. Margot Ravenel just pulling ahead of Marta Garcia Fares there. Caroline Ulrich slips into 4th place. Margot Ravenel giving Giulia Murada a run for her money. Margot Ravenel's partner today, Robin Galando, had the fastest time, the fastest men's time, in at 7 minutes 57.26. Giulia Murada come out of transition nicely ahead there of Margot Ravenel. And Caroline Ulrich gone back into 3rd ahead of Marta Garcia Fares. It's changing all over the place between these 4 women. The slightest mistake when they're this close allows the person in front to just really take advantage as they go into their final downhill for this particular round. They will have one more transition to do at the bottom. Giulia Murada, Margot Ravenel as Caroline Ulrich of Switzerland and Marta Garcia Fares of Spain. There's quite a big gap now between them and these 2 in front, giving their partners a really good, strong chance of getting up that hill. Over that jump that we saw yesterday, the last transition. Giulia Murada putting on her last set of skins. Margot Ravenel next to her. Caroline Ulrich has just arrived in there. Still no sign of Marta Garcia. There she is. Giulia Murada running to pass over to Robert Antonioli. Oh no! And Robin Galando takes a tumble just at the start there, but he is doing his best to catch up to Robert Antonioli as John Kissler takes off in 3rd. But that was quite a spectacular tumble there by Robin Galando. Oriol Cardona Call now also on the hill. Matteo Sostizzo in behind him, but a fairly big gap between Robert Antonioli and Oriol Cardona Call at this stage, nearly 22 seconds. And you can see that Robert Antonioli, Robin Galando just in front there with John Kissler powering up behind them. John Kissler, 11th in the under-23 category this year. Great result for the young Swiss athlete. He's got some pretty experienced racers ahead of him and two closing fast behind him, I should imagine, although we can't quite see yet. Robin Galando seems to have recovered well from that big tumble. Still no sign of Oriol Cardona call. Robert Antonioli as, oh, there he is. There's Oriol Cardona call, just come up there on the right hand of our screens. Robert Antonioli, surely, if not the, then one of the most experienced athletes out there on the circuit. There was a time when I would have perhaps not said that this would be his speciality, but he is powering away, teamed up with Giulia Morada for this B final. Still the record holder for the Patrouille des Glaciers, coming up next week from Zermatt to Verbier. Also the ISMF Long Distance World Championships this year, so that will be another incredible spectacle in the Canton of Valais in Switzerland. But back to Cortina d'Ampezzo here in the Dolomites. There's Robert Antonioli ahead. And Robin Galando, a little bit of a slip there, and out just ahead of Robert Antonioli as John Kissler went right to the front of the transition box there. But Robert Antonioli is a terrific skier, so this is an exciting race down on this first descent for the men in the B final. Oof, yeah, it is not easy out there, and not when you have this man hot on your heels, that is for sure. Oh, it's exciting as they come into this transition to head up to their next descent, ascent. John Kissler and Oriol Cardona call in almost at the same time. And it is very close between those two top athletes. And there we have Robin Galando with John Kissler behind him. Robert Antonioli took a little bit longer over that transition than he would have liked, I should imagine, as it goes to France, Switzerland, Italy with Robin Galando, John Kissler and Robert Antonioli. But they're the more experienced athlete taking back his second place from the youngster from Switzerland. And there is Oriol Cardona call. Just at the bottom of your screens. Robin Galando takes a quick look behind him. Robert Antonioli opening up the gap between himself and John Kissler as they head up to this foot part. And we will get, there we are, a great view from the camera up there as they come into the foot part. Robin Galando, Robert Antonioli, John Kissler and Oriol Cardona call. I think Matteo Sestizzo was just popping into view there as we switched our camera angle. Robert Antonioli giving a good old sprint up there. Bit of Wernern, as we like to say, even though Werner Marti has retired this week from the sprint, from the Swiss SkiMo team, that term will live on. It is the running up the hill, and there is Robert Antonioli out to the very front of the transition box. Robin Galando right at the back. An interesting choice of position because it perhaps maybe it blocks people coming in, but it's an unusual strategy, that is for sure, to sit so far back in the transition box. Robert Antonioli absolutely caning it down here ahead of the younger Robin Galando as they come over that jump just before the end, and they will be getting ready to hand over to their partners, Giulia Murada and Margot Ravinel. One last tiny transition though, back to skins. The reason for this, partly because it creates a bit of suspense, but also it is a safety issue because you do not want the likes of Robert Antonioli handing over to you at full tilt on his skis because, well, any of them. And it's John Kissler who makes a phenomenal transition there, absolutely phenomenal transition. Caroline Ulrich, a little bit taken by surprise there, I suspect, because I don't think they were expecting that. Robin Galando hands over to Margot Ravinel, and Robert Antonioli sends Giulia Murada off in third place as Caroline Ulrich got absolutely power boosted there by John Kissler as he came out of that transition like a whippet. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And there is Marta Garcia Fares taking the baton, so to speak, from Oriol Cardona Call, and they're off. And now it has started to heat up. Well done to John Kissler for that phenomenal last boost there as he came past his two older and possibly or definitely more experienced competitors there. So it is now Switzerland ahead of France and Italy, with Caroline Ulrich leading Margot Ravinel and Giulia Murada. This is the second round, the second lap, if you like, for the women in the mixed relay in the B final here in Cortina d'Ampezzo on a very, very different day from the race days we've had in the last 4 or 5 days. We had the vertical on Saturday, the individual on Sunday, and the sprint yesterday. And they were all, certainly the first two, in glorious sunshine. Yesterday was a lovely clear day, a sunny day, a hot day, except albeit a little bit clouded over. But this is a whole different world out there after 5 centimetres of snow came down last night. 38 teams started this morning from 19 countries. We had only 11 on the start line in the B final, because even though Celia Peria-Pessé and Pablo Giner qualified for the B final, they are a DNS, sadly. Pablo Giner not feeling on great form, so they are unfortunately out of the B final, and we are down to 11 teams. But really, it's only 3 that we have been able to concentrate on this morning, because they are absolutely in a league of their own. And there are the three representatives of those teams in front of you on your screen. That is Caroline Ulrich ahead of Margot Ravinel and Giulia Murada. You can just see behind them, that is likely to be Marta Garcia Fares and Katia Mascherona of Spain and Italy, respectively. Caroline Ulrich right to the front of the transition box, picks up her poles, and away she goes. Quite comfortably now ahead of her competition. And there you can hear the dulcet tones of Christine Cavigné, the course commentator, announcing Caroline Ulrich coming into this transition. And there she is, getting those skins on as quickly as possible. Skins management in this race is so vital, and there are different ways of doing it, but what it is absolutely crucial for everybody is that they know what they do and that they do it efficiently and well. As Caroline Ulrich takes off there, Giulia Murada was in behind her, and away she goes, but Margot Ravenel took advantage of that extra couple of steps that she took into the transition box and just peeks out ahead of Giulia Murada. But Caroline Ulrich for Switzerland has got a really good lead going on here. This pairing was 5th in Val Thorens at the very beginning of the season, so in the A final. So it will be interesting to see how well they do here today in this B final. Caroline Ulrich heading into transition here. Great view of the pain faces as they are on their final ascent into the boot pack. Margot Ravenel very quick out of her skis there. There'll be some tired legs out there because this is the 4th race in 5 days for many of these athletes. Caroline Ulrich, a very, very smooth transition there for her. Margot Ravenel just a little bit slower. That's it, get those poles up. Giulia Murada fallen a little bit back, and you see just in the top right of your screen Marta Garcia Fares and I think Katia Mascherona. So Caroline Ulrich will be wanting to give John Kistler as much of an advantage as possible, as he will have to face, as we saw earlier, Robert Antonioli and Robin Galando. And while he did that really phenomenal, very fast transition at the end there, he is the youngest, the least experienced, so she will be wanting to give him as much advantage as she can. And there she goes. A huge gap now as they come in to the last transition. Stay calm, stay calm. And off she goes. Oh no, and she's lost a skin. Ah! That is not ideal. And breathe, and breathe. And Margot Ravenel takes advantage of that unfortunate mistake by Caroline Ulrich to hand over to Robin Galando, and he is off like a rocket. This is the last effort from him as Caroline Ulrich comes in as fast as she can, and John Kissler is going to have to work exceptionally hard if he wants to catch Robin Galando, who has a 10-second lead. How unfortunate. Robert Antonioli chomping at the bit there, willing Giulia Morada in. Oriol Cardona Call comes out to see where Marta Garcia Fares is. Gets to the back of the handover box, and Robert Antonioli is off, as is Oriol Cardona Call. So the women are finished for today. And Robin Galando has a great lead there. John Kissler giving everything to try and catch up. Robin Galando there out on his own, looking behind him. He has a tendency to do the looking behind him thing, as there John Kissler just did the same. But they'll be getting tired now. It's not a lot of recovery time for the men because the women, sorry, not a lot of recovery time for any of them, I was going to say, but especially the women in between, because the men are quicker, so the women have less recovery time. But Robin Galando starting to look a bit tired, as is John Kissler, but no great surprises there. It's been a long season. It's been a long weekend here in Cortina, and the conditions are not the most favourable. I can tell you that behind these three nations that we are pretty much fixed on, because they're right at the top of the race, that there was, of course, we saw Marta Garcia Fares, Oriol Cardona Call take over from Marta Garcia Fares, Mateo de Sestizzo from Katia Mascherona. Behind them, the other Spanish team, Ot Ferrer Martinez, ahead of Maria, taking over from Maria Costa Diaz. And the Chinese team of Tua Heterelli and Solong Kujen are currently in 7th place. Here we go into transition. John Kissler out there. He's very fast in his transitions today. And John Kissler took off there ahead of Robin Galando. And that is Oriol Cardona Call into third now. Robin Galando not liking that loss of the first place and doing a little bit of powering past there to go back into first position here on the final ascent in the mixed relay B final here in Cortina d'Ampezzo. Robin Galando. Oh, and Oriol Cardona Call powering past John Kissler there. And Robin Galando will know that the great Oriol Cardona Call is powering up behind him. But John Kissler not letting these two go at all. It is a great, great final B final for these teams. So exciting. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Robert Antonioli no longer in the picture. Italy now out. Robin Galando also just taking a little bit of time there to get out of transition. As Oriol Cardona Call goes into the lead with John Kissler right on his heels. A fantastic performance from the young Swiss athlete there. But let's not forget what a powerful, powerful comeback for the Spanish Oriol Cardona Call in this last section of the mixed relay. He has come from far back in fourth place and is now in the lead. And you can hear the course commentators getting pretty excited about what's happening. And this is the very last transition. Now, we have seen John Kissler being unbelievably quick here. So let's see if he can do it again. Oh, he's so fast. Look at that. Unbelievable. What a brilliant comeback. And Caroline Ulrich is there to give a great big hug to her phenomenally fast in transition teammate John Kissler. Congratulations as Oriol Cardona Call comes across the line in second place. And just Robin Galando finishes third, being greeted by Margot Ravenel. A great round of congratulations and respect amongst these athletes. What an exciting B final that has been, as Robert Antonioli comes in. Oh no, I beg your pardon. Robert Antonioli is in, and there is there's Matteo Sestizzo just coming in, and I think that's Robert Antonioli at the back of our screens, just coming under the green Carpos arch. Yes, because there's Giulia Morada, getting all very excited to see him. And what I wanted to say was, please excuse some of the blips in the feed. As you can tell, it's a pretty wild day out there and it is affecting the connections, so apologies for that. I hope we're managing to keep you up to date and up to speed. You can of course always follow the results live on MSO Chrono to see as we go what is happening, even if the picture is down. So, but a brilliant win there for Caroline Ulrich and John Kissler. Really, such great racing there between certainly the top, well, for much of the race it was Switzerland, France and Italy, and then with the brilliant comeback from, oh, there's two men you want congratulating you, Arno Lieta and Ivan Arnold of the Swiss team. Just fantastic. So I can you see it just all started at the beginning with the four teams: Switzerland, Italy, France and Spain. Giulia Murada and Margot Ravinel giving their compatriots, their teammates, a good fighting chance in the first round for the men. Robert Antonioli managed to get ahead of Matteo Sestizzo there, but John Kissler, surely transition master of the day, a masterclass in transition, which gave Caroline Ulrich a great start in her second round and also eventually won them the race. And it is Caroline Ulrich and John Kissler who win the B final. Oriol Cardona Call coming from fourth place, quite far back fourth place, to take second. With Margot Ravinel and Robin Galando in a well-fought race. They both led at various times throughout the B final, taking third. And the remaining teams: Katia Mascherona with Matteo Sestizzo, Giulia Murada, Robert Antonioli, Maria Costa Diaz with Ott Ferrer Martinez, Swolong Kyogen and Tua Hetarili Isimer, I beg your pardon, and from China, followed by the second Chinese team in this final, Shengmei Mao and Wenjun Li, Sophia Wessling and Felix Gramselberger, Arthur Whitehead, Maria Lamb. The 10th team over the line. I had heard on the grapevine that the German team had broken a ski, but that is unconfirmed. There we are. It looks like the American team finishing. That was a fast final. Finished in 34:41. As we can see there on our screens. The A final will take place in just under 20 minutes at 11:30 local time in Switzerland, also in Italy, but in Italy, that's where we are today.
Differentemente dalla finale B, dove vi erano squadre anche doppia posizionamento, come ad esempio la Francia, l'Italia, la Spagna, qui abbiamo le nazioni differentemente molto, che sono le migliori nazioni dopo le fasi di qualificazioni, e quindi differenti le 12 nazioni con anche Andorra, quindi Slovenia e Slovacchia, Polonia, oltre le nazioni ovviamente dette leader nel ranking mondiale dello sci alpinismo. 11:30 prima vediamo l'ultimo arrivo a onorare anche la chiusura quindi dell'11ª squadra, dopo non ha potuto prendere il via.
Just there on our screens, we can see the final team in this B final. That is Michal Strejk of Czechia, who has been racing with Marcella Basinova. Okay, there we are. There you have it. The final results. The results for the final. Caroline Illich, John Kissler, Oriol Cardona with Marta Garcia Fares, Margot Ravinel and Robin Galando, Katia Mascherona and Matteo Sostizzo, Giulia Morada and Robert Antonioli, Maria Costa Diaz, Ott Ferrer Martinez, Suolong Kujen and Isimer Tuohetereli from China, followed by Shengmei Mao and Wenjun Li. Also from China, Sophia Wessling and Felix Gramselberger in 9th, Maria Lamb and Arthur Whitehead in 10th, and bringing up in the final position today, Marcella Vasinova and Michal Strejk of Czechia. There should have been 12, but as I said, the other French team of Célia Perrier-Pessé and Pablo Giner were a DNS. And you can see on the bottom left hand of your screen there the QR code where you can access directly the live results and follow exactly what's going on. There are a lot of split times on the mixed relay course, so it's an interesting way of seeing who is doing what and when and how fast, and the distance between and the difference between the men going out and then sort of the different athletes, the different, maybe perhaps one athlete stronger in a team relative to their competitors than between the men and the women. So lots and lots of information to be gleaned from those results, not just who won and who didn't. Very, very, it is a stats fan, absolute delight, thanks to our timing gurus. And what we're actually going to see very shortly, because we have a little bit of time now, just over 10 minutes until the start of the individual, the A final, we're going to have a little look at the highlights of Sunday's individual race. After we've had a good look at this.
Zona di partenza, lei eccola lì con occhiali sfavillanti, la nostra grande azzurra.
Stanno cominciando a salire.
Hard like here in the starting area.
No, dai ragazzi, Forza Esercito Italiano.
Arrivo il presidente di giuria, altri dei grandi specialisti delle individuali, ci vedrà il numero 5, il casco giallo.
Dai Davidino, dai Davide, dai, 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 dai. Minuto 50, hai capito? Capito Davide? Dai, 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 dai.
Vai, bravo!
Dai che la 30 secondi, dietro ne hai una ventina buona. Dai Aleco.
And there we had a quick highlight of the men's individual race on Sunday. Shame we didn't have time to fit in the women as well, but here is the start list for Final A in just about 4 minutes. Harrop Anselme, Faton Pereton, De Silvestro Boscacci, Himer Verbniak, Paler Hirsch, Alonso Rodriguez, Martinez de Albornoz Marquez, Januszek Elantowski, Yekuchikova Siarnik, Tanaka Shima, Eugene Lamu and Zhang, Kobol Kovacic, Ancion Havet, Ulm Rupert. Those are the 12 teams in the A final as we head into the very last race of the 2024 season. You may have seen the difference between Sunday's weather conditions. Well, this is a very different day. That was Emily Harrop up there. That is Marianne Faton, Patrick Peretin, Emily Harrop racing with Thibaut Anselme. Emily Harrop had the fastest qualifying time for the women, 8:51. Michele Boscacci and Alba de Silvestro Paul Verbniak and sending Johanna Himer off to the front there. Tatiana Paller racing with Finn Hirsch. Ana Alonso Rodriguez with Inigo Martinez del Bornoz Marquez. Ivona Januszek and Jan Elantowski representing Poland. Mariana Yekova racing with Jakub Siarnik. Yuri Tanaka and Tokutura Shima. Zhengzhou Zhan with Yuzhen Lamu. Ria Kobol racing for Slovenia with Luka Kovacic. Lea Anson Havet and Oriel Orm Rupert from Andorra. And the men have to go and stay warm, keep sheltered and get ready. Emily Harrop did this lap in 8 minutes 51.64. She was the fastest woman around the course in qualification. French team only sitting in 3rd place though this year. They've had one first place in Val Thorens with Thibaut Anselme and Emily Harrop racing together. Had 2 3rd places and 1 5th place. Alba de Silvestro, however, has had 2 first places with her teammate and husband, Michele Boscacci, in Boitaul in Spain and at the Marmotta Trophy in Italy. And the Italian team currently in the lead with 362 points, as they've also had 2 3rd places, courtesy of Giulia Murada and Niccolò Canclini. And they're off. This is the A final. And the women are off for their first lap, and the weather is wild out here in Cortina. If you've just joined us, thank you for being here. We have some awesome racing. The B final was just incredible. So exciting. A big battle up at the front. France, Switzerland, Italy and Spain, and we are ready and here for it, for this A final, and hoping we're going to get as much entertainment. Looks like Ivona Janušek there just got a bit squeezed out. She is, I think that's her, just sort of 3rd from the back there. And they're starting to spread out, but not as much as they were in the the B final. And there it looks like Ivona Janušek, whatever happened to her at the beginning, you can see her there, the white helmet coming right up through the field for Poland. Out at the front there, I would say yes, Johanna Himmer, followed by Maria Costa Diaz. Oh, and it's getting wild. That is Alba de Silvestro, Marianne Faton, and Emily Harrop in 5th. But Johanna Himmer of Austria leading the charge there. There we have a better view. Johanna Himmer. Oh, we did have a better view. Johanna Himmer at the front for Austria. She and Paul Verbniak have raced together all winter in all 4 of the mixed relays that we've had. They're sitting in 4th place, which is not unsurprising, as they've had 3 4th place positions and a 2nd in Val Martello. But there she is, Johanna Himmer leading Maria Costa Diaz, Marianne Faton, Alba de Silvestro, and that's Emily Harrop just holding Ivona Janušek at bay there, with Tatiana Paller in behind her. Absolutely all up for grabs at this stage in this wild, wild, snowy weather. Stringing out here, but still keeping that same order. Johanna Himmer, Maria Costa Diaz, Marianne Faton, Alba Di Silvestro, Emily Harrop, Ivona Janishik and Tatiana Paller. Those are the athletes we can see on our screens right now. And this is where it's going to start to get interesting when we get into this first transition. Drone having a little bit of a wobble there in the wild weather. Sorry about that particular piece of footage. That was a bit challenging to tell you what was going on there, but that looks like, yes, that is Maria Costa Diaz out in front. Marianne Faton in behind her. Johanna Himmer. Okay, Maria Costa Diaz, Marianne Faton, Johanna Himmer, just right in front of us there in the white helmet. That is Alba Di Silvestro. Emily Harrop in the turquoise shiny helmet there. Tatiana Paller with the checkered flag on her arm. Mariana Jegachikova over there. And it's Marianne Faton out ahead of Alba Di Silvestro and Johanna Himmer, but I think we may have seen already Maria Costa Diaz out ahead of them. Yes, there she is. And Emily Harrop was just leaving transition before we changed camera angles there. Maria Costa Diaz out in front there. Marianne Faton and Johanna Himmer right in behind her, and Alba Di Silvestro making up the top four. Emily Harrop giving it some speed up through the diamonds. Tatiana Paller, and that is Mariana Jegachikova, who has come into 8th place there. 7th? 7th, yes. Maria Costa Diaz holding steady there, but that is actually Johanna Himmer who has pushed her way into 2nd. And Emily Harrop made her way into 3rd, pushing Marianne Faton down the rankings there, with Alba Di Silvestro in 5th. Well, I'm going to stop saying nonsense because it's obviously Ana Alonso. My humble apologies to all viewers, especially the Spaniards. I was getting a bit excited. And of course we know that it's Ana Alonso Rodriguez, as Emily Harrop powers her way into 2nd place ahead of Johanna Himmer. And Marianne Faton with Alba Di Silvestro there, Tatiana Paller, Ivona Janishik. And just at the back of our screens there on the far left top hand corner is Mariana Jegachikova, as Ana Alonso, who had for her a disappointing sprint race yesterday, was hoping to do really well today, racing with Inigo Martinez, is ahead of Emily Harrop. Ana Alonso of Spain has competed twice this season with Oriol Cardona Call, so they've had a switch of teams. They've been second both times. Anna Alonso coming down into her final transition for this lap. Emily Harrop, I believe. Here we are, Emily Harrop coming in second. Johanna Hiemer of Austria, Marianne Faton of Switzerland, Alba de Silvestro, Tatiana Paller, and off she goes. Gosh, this is going to be tight. These three women at the top, in fact four. Look at this, Marianne Faton putting in a right old sprint as Inigo Martinez takes over. Thibaut Anselme leaps over other people's skis. Paul Verbniak out in fourth, and Patrick Perton, Paul Verbniak in third, Patrick Perton in fourth, and Michele Boscacci off in fifth. There he is in his very distinctive style. The yellow helmet. And Finn Hirsch just taking the baton from Tatiana Paller. Well, that was an exciting handover. As you saw, Thibaut Anselme had to literally leap over the skis of his competitors to get out there, and he is in third place as I think that's Paul Verbniak made his way out into the front there. Indeed, Paul Verbniak ahead of Inigo Martinez. Thibaut Anselme, Michele Boscacci, Patrick Perton. Austria, Spain, Italy, France and Switzerland. Paul Verbniak putting in a bit of a power move there. Paul Verbniak keeping a very, very wary eye, as he should, on Inigo Martinez. We should see, we heard yesterday from the horse's mouth that Thibaut Anselme does not like it. His body does not like to go fast out the gate. And we saw some phenomenal power up the foot part yesterday from him, coming right through the field. That is a hefty field of competitors behind Paul Verbniak as he strides out on his own with Inigo Martinez, Thibaut Anselme, Michele Boscacci and Patrick Perton there. Coming into sight now, Finn Hirsch, as just at the top of our screens we can see Paul Verbniak heading into transition. There we are. Paul Verbniak coming down, out first. He was handed over to third, behind the Spaniards and the French. has put in an excellent first ascent and now descent. There is Inigo Martinez, Thibaut Anselme, Michele Boscacci, Patrick Perrotin, and coming in, Finn Hirsch. It is going to be tight. As Paul Verbiak makes it out first. Who is going to be in behind him? I suspect it will be, yes, Thibaut Anselme, a very fast transition from him there. Inigo Martinez taking a bit longer than he would like. I suspect Patrick Perrotin is out next. Inigo Martinez has lost a lot of places there. He is now sitting in 6th place as Paul Verbiak keeps the lead, followed by Thibaut Anselme, Patrick Perrotin, Michele Boscacci, Finn Hirsch, and there is Inigo Martinez. And they're all bunched together. Inigo Martinez has, in my experience of watching him, an excellent ability to battle through the crowd, but less easy to do coming through the diamonds. Certainly less easy to do when you have that strength of competition around you. But it is Paul Verbiak. Thibaut Anselme in behind him. And you can hear Christine Cavagnier down on the finish line. As excited as the rest of us for this race, Paul Verbiak using those long legs to his advantage, powering up those steps. But here is where we saw Thibaut Anselme just absolutely wowing us yesterday. He's conservative, but still consistent. Michele Boscacci has gone into 3rd. Inigo Martinez, Finn Hirsch, Patrick Perrotin dropped down into 6th. This is a very, very strong performance from the young Austrian. 3rd in the overall under 23 rankings this year behind the Bussard twins. And he's out. He's got Thibaut Anselme hot on his heels. Michele Boscacci will not be far behind, all being equal, but then nothing is ever equal, or as it should be in transitions. You just never know. Not when they are this quick and this important. Smoothly over that jump, Thibaut Anselme right behind him as they get ready for their final transition on this lap. This is where we saw the Swiss team. John Kistler had great transitions. Caroline Ulrich had a little bit of a tricky one at one point. Oh, and it's neck and neck as they head to hand over to their partners. Thibaut Anselme getting his poles on quicker as they head over to the handover zone. And Johanna Hiemer and Emily Harrop are off. And here we go. Alba Di Silvestro waiting for Michele Boscacci. Anna Alonso taking over from Aurel Cardona, who has a wobble. Marianne Faton takes the baton from Patrick Perrotin, and Tatiana Paller takes off, having got the touch from Finn Hirsch. Just so you're aware, they have to touch any part of the body or the bag. The pole does not count. Johanna Hiemer just pinching in there ahead of Emily Harrop as they head up. This is their penultimate ascent. Jakub Siarnik hands over to Mariana Igichikova, Jana Lentowski to Ivona Januszczyk, that is Slovakia and Poland, respectively. Good examples of something I talk about often on relay races, of where in these particular pairings, relative to the competition around them, that the female athletes are stronger than their male partners, which means that they often do come in quite early on in the rankings in their round, but that their male teammates lose a little bit of ground because of the strength of the competition ahead of them in the men's category. Emily Harrop there, getting her Vernern on, and just Johanna Hiemer just tucking right in behind her. She wants to stay right on those skis. And there is Anna Alonso and Alba Di Silvestro, Marianne Faton and Tatiana Paller. The Swiss supporters out in force there. Well, we are nearly halfway through this competition, and I don't imagine anyone will be sad to finish in today's competition and today's weather. But Emily Harrop has made a clear break there ahead of Johanna Hiemer. A really big gap now. There is Johanna Hiemer, determined. Not be left behind. But only 4 seconds, only 4 seconds. And here it comes, Anna Alonso and Alba Di Silvestro, as Emily Harrop just ahead of Johanna Hiemer as they head into their last climb of the day. Marianne Faton and Tatiana Paller. Emily Harrop there ahead of Johanna Hiemer, but who is hanging on. He caught up a bit of time there in transition. He's going to have to work really hard, and then Paul Verbniak will need to work exceptionally hard against Thibaut Selmé. They'll be keeping warm in their tents right now, keeping the legs turning over on the turbo trainers. Alba Di Silvestro just ahead of Anna Alonso there. And that is Marianne Faton and Tatiana Paller in behind them. So it's 3 sets of 2 at the moment. Johanna Hiemer absolutely determined I should imagine, to match their second place. She and Paul Verbniak were second in Val Martello in February. Emily Harrop has had 2 A finals this season. First in Val Thorens with Thibaut Anselmet, and also with Thibaut Anselmet, third in Boitaoul. She's very familiar with this. She won this sprint race yesterday and the title for the season on this part of the course that we're on right now. Quick check of the poles, and she is off. Johanna Himmer looking tired there. Johanna Himmer has had a cracking season. That absolutely cannot be denied. But she is now head-to-head with the overall World Cup winner, the sprint winner, the vertical, beg your pardon, the individual winner, and so that's a tough gig. And here we go. This particular transition has been key in so many of the races today, so many of the transitions, so many of the handovers. This is the last handover of the day, of the season. And it looks like it'll be Emily Harrop handing over first to Thibaut Anselmet, with Johanna Himmer in behind her. And Emily Harrop puts her last World Cup paces and there is Johanna Himmer. Let's see what the difference is. How much is Paul Verbniak going to have to work to catch up with Thibaut Anselmet? 15, nearly 16 seconds. That's a bit of a lead. And there is Michele Boscacci in third as Albert Silvestro hands over to him, and Inigo Martinez takes over as Ana Alonso also finishes her World Cup season. And Marianne Faton has handed over to Patrick Perriton as Finn Hirsch waits for Tatiana Paller to give him the nod. Paul Verbniak there at the very bottom right-hand side of the corner of the screen, powering up there, doing extremely well to catch up with Thibaut Anselmet, and is right on his skis now and is overtaking. Well, let's see, how is he going to hold this? This is a phenomenal effort from the young Austrian. Thibaut Anselmet obviously had a lot more racing in his legs yesterday as he won the sprint race and the title and the overall title for the season. As Paul Verbniak takes the lead up this penultimate climb of the day, of the season. It is Thibaut Anselmet of France, hot on his heels. And the Verbniak-Himmer team absolutely thrilled beyond belief with a win. That would be their first, but there's a long way to go. It is still Paul Verbniak ahead of of Thibaut Selmet as they head up here to this transition. Michele Boscacci there, just on the right hand of our screen. And off they go. Oh, and Thibaut Selmet ahead of Paul Verbniak there. He'll not want to let this go at all. They want to keep as hot on his heels as he possibly can. This is not a time to let Thibaut Selmet get away from you. As the young Austrian comes round these corners and into this transition for the last climb, as there is just over 2.5 seconds between them. Still waiting. Ah, there we go. Michele Boscacci, nearly 22 seconds, or just over 21.5 seconds behind them. And Thibaut Selmet this is it. He now knows to put the foot down. This is where he is so talented, being able to get to the end of a race and just suddenly find a whole new reservoir of strength. And he is leaving Paul Verbniak in the dust as he powers up through these diamonds. And the young Austrian, looking, relatively speaking, a little tired, looks behind him to see where Michele Boscacci is. But Thibaut Selmet taking a bit of a majestic lead there, but he can't relax, that is for sure. And away they go. He goes out of transition before Paul Verbniak even gets in. And there he goes. This is where we saw him use his superpowers yesterday, up these steps. Looks like the weather is clearing very slightly. Or perhaps it's the camera angle. Paul Verbniak also powering up those steps. And it is really between these two nations now and these two athletes. The established two-time winner of the overall World Cup and the youngster from Austria who has shown so much talent and hard work and grit. And there we go, Thibaut Selmet, little look behind and takes off down that hill. Paul Verbniak just going into transition. And he is into the final transition. Thibaut Anselme, what an end of season it has been for him. He won yesterday, his teammate won yesterday, and today it looks like all being well. Paul Verbniak strategically in front of Thibaut Anselme there. Just anything to hold him off. No, not in front, but beside. And Thibaut Anselme relaxes across the line as he and Emily Harrop take another win for France. Jana Hiemer and Paul Verbniak congratulate each other, and then the two winning teams. That was a great, amazing battle there between those two teams. Michele Boscacci comes in to be greeted by his teammate and wife, Alba Di Silvestro. And Marianne Faton is cheering on Patrick Perton as he takes 4th place. Ana Alonso Rodriguez and Inigo Martinez in 5th. I'm going to do some very quick sums here and see if I can let you know who may have won the nations ranking. And if I'm correct, which I wouldn't actually necessarily guarantee, I think Italy hold on to the nations ranking with a total of 443. France go into 2nd with 428, Spain 3rd with 412, and Austria 4th with 409. You know, don't rely on me, because my maths is pretty terrible, but I think Italy have hung on to that with their 3rd place there. Just enough to make it keep at the top of the tree. Regardless, excellent racing here in Cortina d'Ampezzo. Paul Verbniak there will be delighted with his performance, as he well should be. A quick word, hopefully, with Alba and Michele. Jakub Stjarnik greeting Mariana Jegorčíková there in 7th. And Jan Elentowski crosses the line with Ivona Janešík. A terrific morning of racing here, despite the weather conditions, despite how tired everybody involved in the World Cup season must be feeling by this stage. It is still really has been just an exceptional morning of racing. The B final, of course, won by Switzerland, Caroline Ulrich and John Kissler. The Spaniards in 2nd with the French team in 3rd. And we've just seen the A final as Emily Harrop and Thibaut Anselme take the win for France, putting their tally of medals between them to an absolute bumper score this weekend. as Rhea Kobel there greets Luka Kovacic for Slovenia. And Emily Harrop and Thibaut Anselme had a hard battle there with Johanna Hiemer and Paul Verbniak. Both of those athletes giving the French team a massive run for their money, with Thibaut Anselme just at the end there exercising his superpower of being able to blast into the second half of a race. And Alba Di Silvestro and Michele Boscacci, after 2 wins this winter, make it into 3rd place to secure the overall title in the mixed relay for Italy. Marion Faton and Patrick Perton go into 4th. There we have it, the results for Final A. Just after we saw the highlights there, Thibaut Selmé and Emily Harrop take the win ahead of Johanna Himmer and Paul Verbniak. Michele Boscacci and Alba De Silvestro, Marianne Faton, Patrick Perreton, Ana Alonso Rodriguez, Inigo Martinez de Albornoz Marquez, Tatiana Paller and Finn Hirsch, Mariana Jegerchikova and Jakub Sjarnik, Ivona Janishik, Jan Elentowski, Ria Kobel and Luka Kovacic. Followed by, in 9th place, by Yuri Tanaka, Tokutara Shima, and then Yuzhen Lamu and Zhengyao Zhang. And in final place, I beg your pardon, we had the Andorrans of Lea Ancion Havet with Oriel Rupert ahead of the Chinese team. If you're still with us, thank you so much for sticking around after the A final, after this mixed relay. We have a few things still to do. We will have some interviews with the winners in about 10 minutes, and then we will have the flower ceremony as well around about 12:30 local time, which is just over 10 minutes away.
Anche cambiare la batteria del... No, a 2 salti, adesso un attimo. Questa l'ho cambiata. Lo devo spegnere? Sto parlando con... Entro io?
Sì, aspetta, first in English and then in German. I ask something to you.
Sounds like we're getting ready for some interviews. Here we go.
Last mixed relay of the season and another great podium for the Austrian team. After the second place in Val Martello, you confirmed to be on the top, and second place also here in Cortina d'Ampezzo. Johanna, so happy.
Yes, I'm really proud of us because I think we improved from relay to relay, and today we showed our very best performance, and yeah, I'm very, very happy.
Paul Verbniak, it was not so easy because you had a lot of contenders with Thibaut Anselmet, Inigo Martinez, Michele Boscacci, but you push very hard from the top to the finish.
Yeah, I know that the first uphill is really good for me because I can push really hard. It's like a short vertical, and yeah, I really tried to take the lead from the beginning. Yeah, but at the end Thibaut was too strong. He attacked and I couldn't go with him. But yeah, like Johanna said, we really improved ourselves, and today we showed our best mixed relay from the season, and yeah, I hope it continues like this.
So you are ready for the next season, for the top of the podium, the first place, Johanna?
We will give our best to be one day on the very, very first podium. Wir werden alles versuchen, eines Tages vielleicht ganz oben zu stehen.
Ja, freut uns jetzt dann auch ein bisschen in die Saisonpause zu gehen. Ein bisschen zu regenerieren war doch, glaube ich, für uns beide eine harte Saison, auch gesundheitlich. Aber ja, glaube ich, super Ende und sehr viel Motivation für die Vorbereitung.
Super Johanna, super Pauli, dankeschön.
Grazie mille.
Grazie mille.
Okay, yes, you are ready for the number one, I think.
Hope so.
Maybe.
Christine Cavanier there interviewing Paul Verbniak and Johanna Himmer. Delighted with their performance today, coming in second for Team Austria, and hoping to get better and better as they have both become individually, but even better and better as a team over the coming years. That is their second place of the season, after 3 fourth places. And now I think we're going to chat with Thibaut and Emily.
Emily Harrop, Thibaut Anselmet, the winning team of the last mixed relay of the season. What a good shape for the French team. The first victory in the first World Cup stage in Val Thorens, and you end in the same ways as you beginning the season. So a great smile on your faces more and more days in this last World Cup stage of the year 23-24.
Yeah, for sure. No, we're really happy today with Thibaut. I think Cortina is good to us at the moment, so it's great. And yeah, we did the first World Cup together, and it went really well. I mean, every time we race together, it goes pretty well. So I have a lot of confidence in Thibaut to get the job done and give everything he has and play it strategically. And so I just have to think about what I'm doing, and it's a real comfort. We know we're a strong team, and it's great to be able to perform together.
Fantastic, Thibaut. We saw on the last lap on the sprint race, you fly on your skis on the diamonds.
Yeah, I think with Emily today it was the perfect race. Good gesture, and yeah, at the end I want to do some spectacular thing to have some fun. I think it was great to see on the live, and I hope all the people to see the race, enjoy, and yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, we were also happy to see it. We were with all the French guys at the bottom. Oh my God. So it was quite cool to see.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Ouais, une super course encore aujourd'hui avec Thibaut. Cortina, ça nous va bien, je pense. On fait des super courses depuis le début de la semaine, enfin depuis la semaine dernière. C'est vrai qu'on avait fait Val Thorens ensemble, on avait commencé la Coupe du Monde fort, et là on a fini fort, donc ça nous tenait à cœur aussi à chaque fois qu'on court ensemble. Enfin moi j'ai beaucoup de confiance en Thibaut dans sa manière de courir, et du coup j'ai juste à penser à moi et à ma gestion, et c'est assez réconfortant de se dire ça, de se dire qu'on est une équipe forte. Après, il faut le faire.
Super course aujourd'hui tous les deux. Je pense qu'on s'est bien amusé. Ouais, c'était intéressant à regarder, je pense. Et puis voilà, on est content de pouvoir offrir cette victoire à toute l'équipe et terminer la saison là-dessus. Voilà, on fait 2 super courses là pour terminer. Voilà la Marseillaise.
Faites toutes des super courses, si je peux vous dire.
La Marseillaise, on l'entend bien, c'est parfait.
Merci beaucoup, super. L'équipe France, Europe en semaine.
Merci à vous.
Merci.
Indeed, Cortina has been good to Thibaut Anselme and Emily Harrop, although we could say that they have been good to us. Some fantastic viewing we've had in the last couple of days, with both of them winning individually the sprint races and titles yesterday, and now winning together. And I think we're going to go down and talk to Michele Boscacci and Alba Di Silvestro. Now they were third today, but Italy takes the title in the nations ranking, and I suspect that is what Christine will be chatting to them about.
Alba De Silvestro, Michele Boscacci, another great race, another podium, third place in the last mixed relays of the season in Cortina d'Ampezzo. A super team and a super family. De Silvestro, Boscacci, it was not easy because the other teams were so strong, but you did it and you finished in a podium this season.
Yes, today was really hard because all the team ran, and that's the last race, so everyone is more motivated. Now we are getting tired for all the season, but yeah, it's the same for everyone. But it was really a hard race. I have to say thank you to Michele, because he pushed a lot more than me because I was tired, and we get the third place, so it's a very good way to end the season here close to my hometown with all my family that's here. So yes, that's a good way to end the season.
Michele Boscacci, una super moto sulla pista, la mixed relay di Cortina d'Ampezzo, un podio tenuto con i denti e voluto fino alla fine.
Ma sicuramente quando si inizia a giocare bisogna tenere duro fino alla fine. Che dire, Thibaut veramente impressionante, soprattutto per la capacità di gestire questo format di gara, farsi riprendere per poi scattare in faccia agli avversari. Anche se ero dietro e arrancavo, ho seguito un po' la sua tattica e mi ha fatto veramente paura. Invece Paul sulla salita andava veramente forte, sapevo che potevo giocarmela con lui, ma oggi aveva una marcia in più. Io ero lì dietro con la Spagna, con Inigo e con la Svizzera, niente, ho cercato di giocare al meglio le mie carte e quindi di agguantare questo terzo posto e non lasciarlo più scappare. Alba ha fatto un grandissimo lavoro sulla prima frazione e io ho cercato di mantenere e di concludere poi su questo podio.
Grandi ragazzi, top.
Grazie.
Grazie, all'anno prossimo.
Teammates and husband and wife Michele Boscacci and Alba De Silvestro there, giving us their thoughts on the winning, being third place today, congratulating each other on working really, really hard. Michele giving us a little bit of a rundown there of the people that he thought he might be able to take on, and those that he managed to get past. But Italy, I can now tell you, it is official. They have won the nations ranking with 443 points. France in second, pushing with 428, pushing Spain down into third, 412. Austria 409, and in fifth place Switzerland with 345 points. So well done me. I did get my sums right, and congratulations to those top 5 nations. Just so you also have an idea of the World Cup nation ranking, so that's all the points amassed over the World Cup season for 23-24. It is France who win with 3,765 points, ahead of Switzerland, Italy, Spain and Austria, all in the top 5 there. That makes up the top 5. 30 nations represented this year, and really just a phenomenal amount of points there to France, but really only actually Switzerland not that far behind at all, about 50 or so points below them. It's coming to an end. I mean, it seems to be just about 2 days ago that I was chatting to you from Val Thorens in November, and here we are. We're at the end of the season. We've had some really unbelievably exciting racing this winter, not just of course in the World Cup. We've had some great racing, but across SkiMo in general, the long distance races have been really exciting. It's been a really great year. Of note is of course we haven't managed to see her much this season, but Axel Gachet-Molleret coming back from having her second baby and doing so incredibly well and winning races and showing us just what she is capable of, what women are capable of, even post maternity leave. So here we are, 3rd place on today's mixed relay for Italy, Alba De Silvestro and Michele Boscacci. Beautiful flowers. Alba there, of course, telling us that she's very close to home, so she'll be able to put those up in their living room. Johanna Hemert and Paul Verbniak taking an extremely well-deserved 2nd place. Brilliant racing from both of them today. Really, really so strong, showing so much improvement, so much potential for the future. Really a cracking race. But of course, the stars of, arguably the stars of the weekend, certainly the last 2 days where we've been streaming, Emily Harrop and Thibaut Anselme of France. Unbelievable day on the slopes for them yesterday in the sprint racing, and winning here today in the relay race. Putting France into 2nd place in the nations ranking. A fantastic way to finish the season of the World Cup here in Cortina. Despite the weather, it has been a brilliant day. Thank you for joining us this season. It has been full of highs and lows, and we will be back next year, and fingers crossed we will be getting to see a lot more races on the streaming and follow the entire circuit around. It would be brilliant if you would join us again next season. We've had an absolute blast. There is, of course, the small matter of the Patrouille des Glaciers next week, which is the ISMF Long Distance World Championships, as well as, of course, in its own right, one of the most iconic races in the SkiMo calendar, from Zermatt to Verbier. There are 2 races, of course. One goes on Wednesday night and one goes on Friday night. If you can get to either of those venues or anywhere in between to watch, I thoroughly recommend that you do, because it is quite a special race. And but from me and the rest of the ISMF team, thank you for joining us this season. We look forward to seeing you bright and breezy towards the end of this year, beginning of next season. Have a great summer. Bye-bye.